service announcement. These videos have the full intentions to be used as conversational tools and purposes only. Anything that is expressed in these videos and videos before and after has the sole purpose of that reason. I know a lot of this stuff is repetitive. I hope that you can understand that. Again, these are for conversational purposes only. The comment box on these videos is for that purpose. Thanks for watching. What's up, y'all? Intro out of the way, and let's jump right on into tonight's Street Outlaws and yet another great season of Street Outlaws. I mean, everything that Chief said was going to happen, and even the rest of the guys said was going to happen, is happening. This is turning out to be one of the best seasons of Street Outlaws that we've had in a long time. So I'm stoked. The way that the show is going right now, if they don't mess it up, we'll keep the show on the air, in my opinion. And there's a lot of people hating and a lot of people saying a lot of things about Street Outlaws and certain cast members of the show, but I guarantee you that they will come around and the show will come back around if things continue on the path that they are on now. But let's jump right into the show. And first thing I'm going to talk about is Farmtruck. And I know I don't talk a lot about them and the stuff they do, but to me, it was the most staged of the show. And even though I'm going to say that, you know, when they was racing the Goneril tonight, it wasn't played out in real life like they had it on the show. It was a lot more staged, but I liked it. And normally that's not for me, but I don't know if it was, you know, nostalgic because it was the way it used to be as in a Goneril, but it was the same concept. And I liked it. I have always liked their stuff, but it's nothing, it's drama TV is what it is. It's nothing to really talk about. It's nothing to make a video on or include in every one of my weekly videos about the show. So I kind of leave it out, but I enjoyed it tonight. And like I said, I don't know why. But I had put this in last week's video, but I ended up taking it out during editing, and it was about Asian and his car that they had fixed. And I'm going to shorten it up and put it in this one. And it was from last week when he got real emotional about the car. And I have seen a few things about it, and most of it's been good online. And anybody who has had a car for a really long time or had a car that they lost, they understand what the connection is with man and machine or man and car, like the one that Asian has with his car. So I thought it was a good thing, and I didn't know how to portray it in a video to where it didn't look like I was talking bad about him or, you know, saying something bad about the situation with him crying on TV. But I totally felt it, I got it, and I thought it was a good contribution to the show last week. But like I said, I took it out during editing. But the deal with them racing, I thought it was neat. I liked it. It was nostalgic. It looked to me like it was at the same place that they took and raced the Farmtruck 5-6 seasons ago. And I just hope that everything continues on the path that it is right now. And it also broke up the normality of the things they've been doing. Like when the show comes on, they'll go to 4 or 5 of them shop, spend about 5 minutes in each shop, and then it'll kick off race night. Where tonight, it didn't. And I didn't realize that 30 minutes had passed until I was fast forward through a commercial, and I realized they didn't have but 30 minutes left for race night, so I knew that something was going to happen and they wasn't going to get that many races off. And as we seen, and I predicted from last week, Doc wrecked the Street Beast. Although it wasn't very bad, you couldn't tell from the clip last week, it wasn't very bad, and he will be racing again next week, I'm sure. But that did leave some unanswered. You know, like Dominator was going to have to race Monza, who brought his car back after the big wreck from last year, and he was down a cylinder. This will give him time to at least do something to make the car a little faster to race Jerry for the, you know, the gatekeeper spot on the list, the most important spot on the list. The, like he said, last season he was at number 4. This season he's nearly gone. I hope that none of them have to leave, but somebody's going to have to, because I do feel like Monza's car is at least a mid-range car at the very least, and I do feel like he is going to get there, and that is going to have to bump someone off. But he didn't get to race tonight, and that leaves Jerry Dominator another week to get his car, ready and capable to protect his spot on the list. The next thing I want to talk about is Ryan Martin and the Fireball Camaro. When it come on and it went to his shop, he was running tests on the car with, Fuel Tech is his software that runs all of his fuel injection, all of his ignition, and all of that. And I didn't know, which I have never had anything that elaborate on anything, but I did not know that you could just test everything in the car, all systems, actually physically test it like he was doing without firing up the car. And I thought that was really neat. I knew that you could test stuff, but I thought that it would test it, like test sensors and things, but I didn't know that it would actually physically test it and you was able to see it like you was watching the spark plugs fire. I thought that was really neat, and it just shows you the advancements that drag racing and electronics in drag racing has came in the past 10 years or so, and most of all of that stuff is directly from the success of Street Outlaws. I mean, without a doubt, I think all of these companies are benefiting from Street Outlaws, so it's amazing what the show has done for the sport of drag racing. But he was testing everything. I thought it was neat. And then he went to the track, and he said that he was just going to put a couple of passes on it instead of just dialing the car in down to the 10th, perfect. He was going to just get a base tune and go out and race the car. But Doc is faster than Doc has ever been, and it proved to be harder than what he thought. He did outrun Doc, but it was, the last 40 foot and mile an hour got it. And after Doc crashed, Dave said something that really made sense, and I think that it clicked to Doc a lot more than it did before he went into the race. Dave said that in the top 5, a pedal will lose the race. Last week, Doc pedaled against Dave. This week, Doc pedaled against Fireball and lost both of them when he was out on them a good bit when he had to pedal. So that tells you one blip of the throttle, and that's the difference in a 3-car lead in a 660-foot drag race. Pretty amazing. It shows you how fast these cars are, and it also showed you how short the shutdown was. I mean, you think you're running that fast and have to shut down? I mean, it takes miles to shut down. It don't take the same 660 to shut down as it did to get there. Doc wrecked the car. Curb feeler's gone. Must have been a bad omen according to him, but curb feeler's gone, and Doc stays at number 4. One more thing that I want to mention about Doc, and it's something that I don't know how to take it or what I feel about it, and that's HPP Tuning Manny is there, and he's there a lot. You catch him in the background. It's kind of like Doc has threw money at his problem to get his car faster, which it is working. HPP knows their stuff, and this is not a bash HPP or anything like that, because that's the most respectable tuning company that I can think of. During editing, I thought more about this, and I think I have found out what my problem actually is with HPP coming in and tuning. If you have to fly someone in for race night to tune your car, then maybe you need to completely rethink your entire program, because to me that is not what the integrity of the list actually means. If you take your car to a chassis shop somewhere and they work on it, that's different. But actually hiring someone to fly in to tune your car from pass to pass on race night is not what the list means. It's not what the list stands for. If you have to buy your way into the race, that isn't what the list was meant for at all. Nothing bad about them, but I don't know how to feel about it. It's fair, it's legal. I don't know. I just didn't know if I liked it or not. I didn't know how to feel about it, and I don't know. One thing that Chief said tonight that I can't believe that I hadn't thought about, but something I want to mention, and that is when he said that himself, Dave, and Doc was the top 3, and how different everything was. Twin turbo small block, a 481X with a Pro Charger, and a huge big block with nitrous is the top 3. That shows how diversified the list is, and that being the top 3. So like he said, it does prove that the street is the equalizer 100%. And it just all depends on whether it's your night or not, whether you have the atmosphere, every single thing, every tiny variable that can come into play in that drag race dialed in perfect, or the guy next to you has it dialed in just a fuzz better. That's really all it's coming down to. The street is the equalizer. You take those 3 cars and put them on a track, and it's not going to be nothing like that. It's not going to be as close as it was on the street. But as we've seen with Dot Wrecking, there wasn't but a handful of races, and I feel like I have talked about them all, and this video is going to be a lot shorter than the ones previous to this, and I'm going to end it right here. Anything you want me to know, say, do have, just like always, email address on the screen, P.O. box on the screen. I still haven't closed my P.O. box yet. I'm going to let it go for another couple of weeks. If you want to be entered for $50, send something to P.O. box, and it's a very simple way to get $50. So you ought to know by now, if you're watching these videos, then you have watched them over before and you know the deal. Send it. 50,000 subscribers, $500. Thanks for watching. Godspeed, and I will see you in the next video.